like in about 45 minutes, I got to go to rehab for this, and we'll, maybe something will happen today. We seem to be getting messages inadvertently around 5, 6, 7 o'clock Eastern, which is about end of the workday. Not really there, but whatever. Anyway, any of you guys see the Ahsoka trailer? Now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Sabine, and I don't like Harrison Dula, not even a little bit. But Ray Stevenson, God bless his soul, looks fantastic. Rosario Dawson looks fantastic. They all seem, despite my misgivings, awesome. And of course, we didn't get a chance to really see Lars Mikkelsen because they're keeping him for a reveal. But we know what he looks like, which is the thumbnail here. It's going to be awesome. I mean, look, I'm going to say something, and it's going to be rebellious. It's going to be because I think for myself. I don't let fill in the black pill blob think for me. There's no place Grand Admiral Thrawn, Heir to the Empire, fits with the sequel trilogy. There's a reason why Kyle Ron's mask was removed from the introduction to Mandalorian. I suggest you guys go and watch it if you haven't, just to see that. Because the people in charge are moving away from it. It doesn't, look, I don't care who you are, black pill blob, whatever, pretend fan, pretend business pundit. This is about making money. And I can go right now to the alleys, the local alleys, and there's still from top to bottom rack full of rays from TLJ, okay, and a few from TFA, all right. So when I hear people say they're not going to change it, it doesn't make any money. I mean, the sequel trilogy Star Wars Hotel is done. It's closing in September. The parks are not attracting Star Wars fans. Okay, you can get on any of those rides after about 15 minutes of standing, which is unheard of in the summertime, tourist season. Okay, partly that's Disney paying for the last 10 years of wokeification and allowing Latondra Newton and her army of baying hounds to fag everything up. Okay, there you go. All right. So we're not making any money with it, so why wouldn't they change it? I mean, look, does anybody out here honestly think that it wouldn't be a better idea to get rid of the sequel trilogy? Do you honestly think that? Put it in the chat. I'll explain why that's stupid. It's about making money. Disney needs money. All right, Disney needs a lot of money. All right, they've got billions missing. They can barely service the interest on the debt they've accrued, which is $100 billion or more. And they've got the Hulu issue coming, and they might have to shell out $24 billion for Hulu if they can't sell it. My thing is, you sell Hulu and you get away from it. Look, the streaming idea was an interesting idea, and when people were stuck in their houses, people got subscriptions. Now that they're out of their houses and running around and doing stuff, they get Netflix. They don't want to be saddled with 25 different subscriptions to different streaming services they don't watch. All right. I use my Disney Plus. I use my Paramount Plus to watch 1923 and to watch the replays of Yellowstone, Tulsa King, The Offer. I have Apple Plus because Shrinking is on it. Shrinking is a great show. You should watch it. It's hilarious. And it's woke, but it's not. It's sort of a kind of a fuck off, quiet sort of fuck off look at how Californians live. I don't know. It's really interesting. I like it. I mean, I like the show a lot. Of course, 1923, I love. But Disney needs money. So when I hear people say they're not gonna get rid of Secret 3D, I'm like, this is a business decision, dumbass. Maybe you should stay in your lane, okay? Screaming at a camera with all your friends, okay? Don't, those pronouncements are stupid because they're not based in reality. Reality is Disney's fucked over right now. They're fucked bad, okay? They need to make money. This is why things are happening at Lucasfilm. Look at it this way. Star Wars Theory was poking fun at Doomcock today. Kind of pissed me off. Stay in your lane. It's lore, the movies, the stories. If you don't understand business, stay out of it. Okay? Do not just sit there and cock off like you know what you're talking about when you don't even know what Disney stocks are trading at. Okay? Which I don't. I gotta go just a second. I'll be right back. La 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 la. Right, Kojak. That's Kojak. Okay? It's a very big Kojak, too. He's such a good boy. Hooray! Okay, so, Market Watch. We'll look at Market Watch and see what they have to say. Disney. Stop it. Okay. All right, so they're trading below $90, $89.44 right now. Not good, but these are the things people need to pay attention to. Not the uneducated ravings of a YouTuber who is way out of his place, out of his lane. This is serious stuff, and it's extremely important to know. How do we know that Disney is so tied up with debt? Well, they bought Fox for what is it, $78 billion? That put them into $50 billion in the hole. Then COVID hit. Hey, Jonathan. Hi, Cross. How you doing? And they started taking out $11 billion loans. Like, let's see. There was at least 3 from the United States, and then there was another one from Canada, the government of Canada. So 11 billion times 4 is $44 billion. 94 billion. Okay. Imagine. C-Man, I think that meeting might be today or tomorrow. I know, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where when you're doing something like this, and trust me, I've seen it. The Leadership Institute, after 9/11, actually did this. All hands on deck, announcing cuts, and then certain people the next day get called in, or they already know at that meeting that they're done. Okay. And like, that's what they need to prepare it. HR needs to get everything ready so when they give people their separation papers and severance package, they everything, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, the ink is dry. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be really big. And considering that what happened with the Acolyte's probably going to be discussed in great detail, well, there's a lot here going on. So my advice is get ready. That's all I can say is just get ready. So anyway, so yeah, $44 billion during COVID, and to keep the company afloat, because the company was, Disney parks were closed, the cruises were closed, the theaters, everything. Okay, so when you're thinking about this, think about it this way. The parks actually were full of wildlife. Deer walking through, Galaxy's Edge, bears wandering through, it's a small world. It's like, you know, it is very, that was a very, like, hollow, empty time. And the reason why Disney Plus did so well is because of the lockdown. We got out of the lockdown and then people just stopped. And of course, you go from this show sucks, this is too woke, to Latoya Ravenel screaming about how she queers everything up everywhere she goes and no one stops her. Kari Burke announcing she's got a kid who's pansexual and another one who's trans. It's like, and then the concerned Karen mom look. Those kids would be so massively into psychotherapy, and I'd be shoving the Bible in their faces every 3 seconds. And that would end. That bullshit would end. I would pull them out of those schools because, look, when you realize that the schools are the ones where this is happening, okay, then you understand. But, people got sick of it. People saw those videos. And people saw the hostage video of Bob Chapek. And we're like, well, Disney loves this shit. We're not going. We're not taking our kids. They went to Universal. Universal's kicking ass and taking names. All right. Not Disney anymore. Why? Because Get Woke, Go Broke is real. It's real. Whether they like to believe it or not, it's real. Okay. So, what we can assume here is with Disney probably not even really being able to pay or service their interest. Look, if you look at what they get, whatever, in liquid cash, then think about what goes out just servicing the debt. And what they have left is, according to Mexican Iron Man, and he's right, about $250 million in liquid assets. That's enough to start a Kathy Kennedy movie, but it's not enough to do all the reshoots she'd demand because she couldn't keep it under budget and she couldn't do it right the first time. So, her idea of measure twice, cut once is the opposite. Cut twice, measure once. After you cut the first time. Okay, so yeah. And then we got the issues with the Acolyte. Yes, there is criminal malfeasance going on there. And, Bob Iger doesn't have to put up with this shit, all right? He's got a department head, Kennedy, going rogue on him, and she's got rebellious staffers who only support her. I mean, look at Pablo Hidalgo after he got in trouble after Soilo lost, $250 million. Basically was screaming about mulching billionaires. Do you remember that? I think Seaman would. And it's like, these are people who don't understand, all right, how this works, all right? If you don't earn the mother company money, you will lose your job, okay? And that is exactly what's happening now. I don't expect, your average YouTuber like Star Wars Theory, who's a great guy, but the attack on Doomcock today was stupid and childish. And, if I were Doomcock, I'd laugh it off. But it's still, it's like, look, dude, you can't, do you understand what's going on? Do you get it? Again, do I have to show, let's go back and look at Diz stock prices. 89.58 now. It's still under 90 bucks. That's lower than it was when Chapek was running Disney. Okay. They're in a financial dumpster fire. Okay. And the idea that they would never dream of, selling Lucasfilm, they would never dream of firing Kathleen Kennedy is absurd. Yep, it's all still. Well, I think the heat's been raised. When the five horsemen of the apocalypse showed up, like the ring wraiths in, or the Nazgul in Lord of the Rings, that was pretty much, hey, Greg. Hey, it's Euler Greg. Have you heard anything? I haven't talked to you in a long time. But those guys showed up, and this is what I figure. A week ago, last Thursday, I'm in my car getting ready to go to see Dial of Destiny, the first showing, get a phone call from Kamran saying they've suspended Kennedy's email account. I'm like, okay. So walk in to watch the movie, get in the car, get and talk to him for a little bit, drive home. And I started thinking just like about that conversation and about everything we found out since then. I think Kennedy was unofficially let go that day. Okay, so technically I was right that she'd be fired before Indy 5 dropped, or at the same time. But they're not yet what, Greg? I don't understand. But they still have to go through this emergency meeting telling the rank and file staff what's going on and, get ready for the layoffs. And I've said who I think the layoffs are going to be. You could look at the leadership on the Lucasfilm website, and let's find that while we're at it. Okay. So there's Kathy. I think Lin-Wen Brennan will go. Carrie Beck. Dave Filoni's safe. Mohsen Gupta's safe. I don't know that lady too well, but she's probably gone. These guys are likely gone. This woman was a name on one of the documents for Blue Stocking. Hey, D00. And she's probably going to get fired. Janet Lewin. I think that guy's safe. That guy's safe. This guy's definitely safe. He's a member of the story group. And he has good relationship with Lego. So they'll probably keep him. Who is that? Lori Altman. I don't know. Don't know about her. And this chick right here, Candace Campos, uh, she's listed on one of the pieces of evidence for the lawsuit too. So I would expect her to go. But here's something I want you guys to think about when you wander over to other channels who insist 1,000,000,000,000% that the Acolyte's real. Well, it's going on Disney Plus in next year. Yeah, Peter's right. Anyway, if it was a fully funded show, and it looks to me like they were siphoning money off of Kenobi and Mandalorian and maybe even Boba Fett. If you look at the production values, they're not as good as they could have been on all those shows. If they're not using money Disney had earmarked for a project, that's a problem. But there could be a myriad of reasons why chain of custody was mentioned, which is a legal term because it means evidence. Okay. So what I want to ask is, if it's a fully funded show and you have a very important, rather well-known producer that you hired who's getting ready to move to England to start getting everything ready for the production, and you call her up 2 weeks later and say, we don't need you, basically you're fired, for no reason at all, and then you give her $5,000, I'm really sorry, but I have a hard time believing that out of a $250 million budget, VR Pro, that they wouldn't be able to pay her more money. All right, give her a couple million. That's what she was looking for. All right. Oh yeah, and it's, look, if it comes out that all they got out of this was a 3-part sizzle reel and it wasn't ever really a show, that's fraud. They defrauded Disney, Karen McCarthy. Think about it. Vendors. All right. I don't even think you could really defend that. I can't figure out how you would, as a lawyer, defend that. Okay, anyway. I wanted to talk a little bit. I gotta go, because I want to get the dog taken care of, and so I can leave without him pooping or peeing in the house. He doesn't do that, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, anything happens, I'll be back later. All right, I'll do another upload. See you guys around the galaxy.